Hello and welcome to episode 67 of Connections, Coffee, and Confidence with me, Janice. I'm really happy to have you here for this episode as it's all about my favorite topic, messaging. The what of what to say. My geek out material. Because everyone will tell you to go find your audience and then talk to them. But who's helping you figure out what to say? That's right. That's me. And today, we're going to look at clarity in your messaging. Hi, I'm Janice Fogarty, and I'm a communications strategist and consultant. The Connections, Coffee, Confidence podcast is for professional women entrepreneurs who have established themselves and their business, and they're ready to get serious about using the power of communication to surpass their business goals. On this podcast, I discuss everything from leadership to establishing a business vision to the intricacies of creating messaging, publicity, and more. I speak to women who excel in communications in their business, whatever they do, and get an inside look at how they created a thriving livelihood. So top up your mug and welcome to this week's episode. It can be a little scary for us as the communicators, the ones who have to say or write the copy for our social media, our lives, our websites, and our bios. We not only have to craft those bold, declarative sentences, but we must deliver them like we are full of confidence, and yet not too cocky, because cockiness tends to put people off. And I think this is why I do such a great job for my clients and why they pay me. And why others pay people like me. It's so much easier for many of us to make those declarations, those proclamations, when it's not about us, to make them on behalf of others. And if you want me to do that for you, awesome possum, drop me an email. Let's set up a time. I'll get to know your goals, your tone, we'll work out your messaging, and all that jazz. But if you want to know how to do it yourself, I have your back on that too. So let's talk about how we even get started with that kind of communication, that boldness. What exactly is clear and direct communication? Well, a lot of it comes down to directive language. That's when you just say what needs to be said. No fuss, just the required words to impart information, all strung together to make a complete decoration for your product or business, like a string of Christmas lights. All the words as light bulbs, none burnt out and just taking up space, causing a dark hole in your messaging, but every bulb doing its job, drawing attention to what you're about. And it seems like it should be so simple, eh? You have something to say, so you say it. But if it was quite that simple, we wouldn't see 150 words squished into a single graphic with another 1,000 in the post text. We wouldn't have emails that run on for so many screen lengths that you scroll to the end for the highlight or, just tap the little garbage can to delete. You wouldn't have podcasters talking about words as Christmas lights. Yeah. Directive language is clear and concise. It tells you exactly what to expect or what to do next. It answers the question that has been on your mind or in your heart for ages. You might not have even known about it until there you go. An answer appeared. I have 3 boys, 2 who are teens, and 1 who is so close he smells like a teen. Actually, he is really good to shower and wear deodorant, bless him, but he can eat like he's a teen. So I have apps for the grocery stores that I frequent, and I check for the weekly specials. One company is Loblaws, which, if you're Canadian, you know is No Frills or Superstore or one of those. They also own a massive drugstore chain, as well as a clothing line. And all of these companies fit very well within my shopping habits. As my kids eat, they get sick, and they bust through their clothes like nobody's business. So I love the President's Choice app. I am not an affiliate. I get zero anything from them. They don't even know I'm alive, except for the fact that I'm in a database somewhere. They They fussed up their app recently with some extras. It used to just show the products that I'd get loyalty points on if I buy them this week, but now they give you the option to check out seasonal recipes or features on new food lines or sales on clothing or information on flu shots or whatever. They're being a smart company, and they're using a tool that they have to connect with their audience and expanding that tool to provide extra value to their customers, opening up lines of potential new revenue and brand loyalty. It's exactly what we need to be doing with the tools that we have at our disposal, right? So if you haven't looked at my Create Your Social Media Content Strategy Masterclass yet, and you want to use your social media as a tool for your business growth, I'll link to that in the show notes. In the PC app, there was a headline that said, "What to redeem your points on in September." There was a pretty picture of a vibrant yet cushy kind of office living room type area, and I saw things I like. After all, I'm moving into a new house this month, and while I usually use the points to get money off the grocery bill or clothes for the kids, our stuff is in a steel storage container on the other side of the country, and who knows what I might need to tide us over until that arrives, right? So I clicked it. Now, was the headline cute and creative? No. Was it fun and teasing? No. Did it lure me in with a laugh or urgency or crazy promises and pretty prose? Definitely not. What to redeem your points on in September. The language is clear. It's concise. It tells me exactly what I'm going to find if I click the link. And what I found was a list of 7 items I didn't know about that range in price from a fancy new tonic water, in case I feel like a fancy G&T, yes please, to a super cool new coffee maker. I know, it's like they wrote this article for me, eh? There were homewares included as well, and look, was I drawn to every item on the list? No. But was I resentful or surprised with what I got after I clicked the button? No. And will I click the same headline for next month? Probably, if I see it. It didn't take up too much of my time. It was helpful because I could definitely splurge on some fancy tonic water with my points. And it was clear in what to expect. All the words I needed to know, and none of the fluff to confuse me. The additional aspect to this link was the image. The picture matched something that's happening in my life, a new home I'm going to have to decorate. We're coming from a home built in the 2000s to one built in the 1930s with original features. So it's fair to expect that some of our stuff might stick out like a sore thumb. I might need some new things to tie everything together. And did I mention that I have an actual office in this new house? Like a home for Connections Coffee and Confidence and JaniceFogarty.com. A home with windows and space for a freestanding desk, definitely a bookcase or two, and maybe even an extra chair. Okay, I digress, but my point is that messaging isn't just verbal. The picture touched me as well. It appealed. When you're really clear on your goals, you can get really clear on your messaging. And that clarity is what enables you to be bold and decisive in the language that you use, and to be confident in your delivery. When's the last time you clicked a link? I'm not talking about a clickbait, although they provide an excellent study on how to lure people in by playing on their interests, their hobbies, and really general human nosiness. But when did you last see a headline and think, oh, I need to know that? Or, I know exactly what's going to be in there for me, and I need that. Or, and I don't need that. Or you know how social media platforms usually give you just a small preview of a post and then you have to click to see the rest of it? When's the last time you clicked on one of those posts? Why did you follow through? And did you get what you feel you were promised? I'm willing to bet that the language used was clear and direct. There was probably a story of some sort, but that story would be linked to the message. It was a way to pull you into or illustrate the message. And I bet you'll be more likely to click a link from that person or company again. Maybe even subscribe or buy what they sell. So, how do you take what has attracted you to click through and subscribe or buy and use that in your business? How do you adapt it to suit what you sell, your brand, and tell it in your voice? Have a look at what you've put out in the past. Your emails, your posts, your lives, your articles submitted, whatever you've created. Have a look at it and read through the language again with a different perspective. So, humor. Humor's great. I'm fond of a laugh myself. But is it confusing the audience and hiding what you need them to know? Are you using jargon? You might know exactly what a land title search is because you're a real estate lawyer or a realtor, or you contract to a municipality and you deal with those things all the time. But does your customer or your client know what you're talking about? Are you scared to say what you have to say? Oh man, there is nothing like fear to help us fluff out and hide our message behind soft words, and sometimes this is where humor appears but isn't helpful. Are you communicating just to be seen and heard? Because that's ego, and it's often fear coming to the forefront, and if you don't have a point, then you're not only wasting your own energy, but you're burning the goodwill of those who gave you a chance and clicked on your link or whatever. When you go through your old material, do you see any of these confusion causers jumping out at you? Are you using clear and direct language? Do you read or see the piece and know exactly what you're meant to know, think, feel, or do? People buy from or do business with people that they trust. And trust is developed when the business uses clear language and draws someone in, then follows through with what they've offered. In my experience, personally, with my own business and professionally as a communication strategist, results come from using clear language, confidently delivered in your own style. And the confidence to do all of that comes from zeroing in on your goals and your messaging. Those are your starting points. Thank you so much for listening today. I'll be back next Monday with a new episode. And until then, my friend, I hope you have an absolutely brilliant week. And by the way, that's clear and direct messaging. I want you to know that I drop a new episode every Monday, that I value you, and that I want to see you back. Okay, that's enough. Have a good one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening this week. I invite you to sign up for my email list or join me in the Connections Coffee and Confidence community on Facebook. Those are the people who get first dibs on any classes or products I create, and they benefit from the extras I can't get into in a podcast format. I also lovingly request that if you've enjoyed this podcast, you leave a review on Apple. When I see a new review, I get so excited I almost spill my cappuccino froth. Almost. And if you're a woman entrepreneur who's ready to get serious about using the power of communications to grow your business, send me an email at janice@janicefogarty.com. All my details are in the show notes. Thank you again for listening today, and I'll chat with you again next week.